Before we jump into this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast, I want to let you know that the complete wedding videography course is coming back. We are going to be opening enrollment again on November the 14th. If you're not yet on the wait list, all you need to do is head over to completeweddingvideography.com, drop your name and email in there, and as soon as we have more announcements, as soon as the course goes online, we will let you know. The 3 modules, business, shooting, and editing, can definitely help you in your business. So if you want to get on the wait list, head over to completeweddingvideography.com. Now, let's head into this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller, and this week I am joined by a special member of the How to Film Weddings team, and that is Mr. Austin Blanchard, who lives in Iowa. Coolest person in Iowa I know, and that's saying something because all of my mom's side of the family lives in Iowa, and you're cooler than all of them, probably.
Ooh, I'm honored.
Yeah. So Austin, how are you doing today?
Doing good. We're about to talk about it today, but it's busy season. It is booking season, and man, I like a lot of people have probably been feeling a little bit like overwhelmed.
For sure.
So I know that that's not really what we're here to talk about today, but hey, we might hit on it because that's how I'm feeling. And otherwise, things are good. Business is good. I'm feeling good. Some days, some days are better than others. I feel like I'm good today. Last week I was stressed, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that. I had a long talk with Jen last night because we just have a lot of stuff going on, trying to finish some edits that we've been doing. And I was, we were gone for the last week. We went to Texas and then we flew to Maine, which Maine in the fall, very nice. I recommend Maine in the fall for sure.
It looked amazing.
It was beautiful. And then next week, as of, recording this, you and me and John, and I think Blake is coming too. Jessica, I think, is coming too. We're all going to venture out in Oregon. So we're going to be gone a week, and then I come back a week, and then we're doing some other How to Film Weddings stuff in the first. So it's like travel home, edits, just lots of stuff going on. We're really busy. So I had to talk with Jen last night, and we sat down and we planned out a schedule for the next couple of weeks. This is what you need to do. This is what I need to do just to get it going. And I think that, tangent before we get into really what we're going to talk about. I think that that's a big problem that I have. I don't know. I'm assuming that we're similar because in us talking a lot, we're very similar in a lot of things. But it's like you write down or you have this idea of all these things that you need to do, but then you don't do them because you have so many things that you need to do. Or you start doing them and then you look over the side and you see a squirrel and you head over that way and you're like, okay, whatever. So anyway, we made a big schedule of the stuff that we need to do this week. We have one edit that has to go out in a couple of days, and then I'm trying to put some finishing touches on another one. So anyway, I feel you, man. Just lots of busy, crazy stuff going on in our worlds right now. So
yeah.
So today, as we're entering into the fall. Before we all know it, we're really going to be in the thick of engagement season, which typically, kicks off around Thanksgiving time. It's something like over 60% of engagements happen between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day. So, those few months, people are just thinking about getting engaged. Typically, January is your highest inquiry month because of all the engagements and all that kind of stuff that's going on. And I wanted to have Austin on today because we wanted to talk about, getting your website ready for engagement season, thinking about your website, what it should look like, what are some things that you should be doing. But before I, kind of talk about some of those things that we should be thinking about, why are you on here to talk about website stuff? What makes you so special that I would reach out to my dreaded friend Austin, and not dreaded as in I don't like hanging out with him. He literally
you dread
has dreads.
Talking to me.
Yeah. Check it out on YouTube. You can see those awesome dreads that he has. But why am I talking to you about website? What do you bring to the table with this conversation?
It's a great question. I'm just here because you asked me to be here. As he spits out his coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been in the design space for over 10 years now. That's kind of how I got started in the creative realm, I guess, as us nerds would say. You're way more nerdy than I am, but I'm speaking your language here. Yeah, and so now we have a creative team that specializes in branding and websites. So we have our business name is The Creative, and we have our wedding side, which is where we do video and photo. And then we have what we call the Creative Studio, which specializes in branding and websites for wedding vendors. And so I had been doing this for a long time. I had kind of shut down this side of my brain and really focused on video. Mm-hmm. And then it just dawned on me probably a year and a half ago now that why am I not using these skills I have to help our community? And so I hired a team, and myself and our team, we have 4 of us now, just cranking out amazing projects for amazing people. That's my favorite thing about it, is we get to work with vendors like us who are just super passionate and super personable, and we love creating stuff that is personalized and special and unique. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one thing, if you actually head over to howtofilmweddings.com, Austin has just launched our new website that he has been working on behind the scenes for a long, long time. We're really excited about it. It was like so many wedding professionals. Whenever John and I started How to Film Weddings, I just went to Squarespace and we just kind of started putting stuff together and we pieced some stuff together. And as Austin is redesigning stuff, we've had several conversations where he's just like, why did you do this? This is so Frankenstein together. This is awful. These fonts don't go. Anyway, so he has been working really, really hard. So if you want to see some of Austin's work, you can go check out the How to Film Weddings website, howtofilmweddings.com. But we just wanted to talk about a few points this morning about getting your website ready for engagement season. And so here's some fall cleaning, not spring cleaning because we're in October and November, but fall cleaning stuff to kind of get these things ready. And the first thing that I want to bring up is make sure that all of your information is up to date. That's really huge. Make sure that your email address is correct, where you are serving is correct. Maybe you are a part of a team and you've had multiple shooters or something, and someone is no longer a part of that team, but their picture is still on your website. Or, I think of, footers or whatever on the website that says copyright 2016. It's just really old. And so go in and make sure your stuff is up to date. And Austin, why? I think a lot of us can figure that out, but why would you say that that's an important thing? Just making sure that your contact information is up to date or your About Me stuff is up to date. Why is that stuff important?
Yeah, well, it's especially important for people like us. And when I say us, I'm probably talking more about Jessica and I, my wife and I, than you, because you've been in the game longer. But I think when you are a newer business, you are constantly evolving. And so you constantly want to be updating all that information. All of your whole website is like your business card. It is the platform that people are going to land on, and they're going to decide within 2 seconds whether they like you or not. So I just find it so important. I hear a lot of times, this is kind of a side tangent, but I hear a lot of people come to me and they say, well, I look up to so-and-so, place whatever big name in the industry, and they have had the same stuff on there for 5 years. I've been going to their website for 5 years. It's the same exact stuff. And there is something to that, right? They have built a brand over a long period of time. At the end of the day, their referrals are coming through planners and through people who may not even be looking at their website, and they just have a rapport that, people are coming and they're booking them, and it is easy. So most of us, I bet 99 or more % of the people listening right now are not in that field. It is so opposite. It is, we need to constantly be updating, constantly be making changes. When I first started, I remember every single film I made was better than the last. So every single time I pumped out a new film, a new main video on my website would go up on the homepage. So yeah, it's super important.
Yeah. And with that, as we're talking about making sure your contact information is correct, maybe you've kind of shifted the vision of your website, or not your website, your business. Maybe you are someone that's just started out and you're like, hey, you know what? I love doing adventure or elopement kind of stuff. So maybe you want to shift your messaging to be that way. Or maybe you're like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I just want to go do traditional weddings that basically every weekend is very, very similar. And that's just what I want to do. Or maybe you want to get into destination work, or maybe I just want to stay. Whatever that stuff is, you should make sure that your website is accurately communicating that information on your site. And then to go with that, you're talking about work that, people have put up, 5 years ago. And I know that for us and for me, I gotten along because there was this one video that I had on our website for like 3 years. Like it was a long time that it was that I showed. But then I had to remember, most people that are looking to hire me, like that's the first thing that they're finding. And like this is their first time that they've been to my website. And so we're not like in the process really of trying to have repeat customers unless it's family members, right? And so having a video, if it's your best work and you did it 3-4 years, like that's totally fine. But if you are in the first few years of your business, or you are really starting to evolve your editing style or something like that, now is a great time to go in and refresh your videos, update your videos, put new work out there, because you want to accurately portray, who you are as a business and the type of stuff that you want to do. And I wonder if that's, Austin, something as, people have come to you and, hey, I want a new rebrand, I want to update this. And they say, this is what we are, we're fun and we're funky and we're, all these things. But then you start looking at their videos and you're like, these two things don't match up. What you're saying and what I'm seeing. Do you see that? Do you experience that?
Yeah, I'm learning, and even within our own business, like we just don't always know what we want or who we even are, especially as individuals. I mean, we could dive really deep on all that, but as a business, I mean, for instance, I'll just use Jessica and I as an example. I think, and this is because I'm a designer, so this is easier for us, right?
Sure,
it's just time spent. I think we've had 5 websites since 2019, which is pretty bad in the sense of I've wasted a lot of time. But what happened was we kept thinking, ooh, we want to do adventure elopements. Oh, actually, we booked a couple, didn't really like doing that, changed it. Okay, let's do more just travel, but not so adventurous. Oh, we booked a couple. Let's do a couple of those a year, but actually staying home is pretty nice, like not traveling. And so each time we decided to shift things, I then I would tweak our branding and I would build a new website that would go along with that. And it did really help us book the types that we were going after at that point. But the point of that is I just think a lot of times we are in the figuring it out stages, especially those first few years of business. We are on year 5, I believe now, coming up on 6. And for us, it has taken all this time. Like we just launched a brand new website of our own 2 weeks ago. And I am finally like, this feels like us. It sounds like us. It is the weddings we want to be doing. And so it's just a process. And I want people to understand that it is a process. And now, like when you work with a professional like me, what happens is we really dive deep right off the bat. Try to weed out some of those ideas. If someone's like me, just an ideas person, they're chasing squirrels all the time, different dreams. Then there's just a lot to weed out. There's a lot of thoughts that, maybe you do want to do adventurous stuff, but then when we process through it, maybe you don't. And so instead of you creating 5 websites over the course of a few years, let's really narrow down now what it is that you want. And that's okay if it changes in 2 years, but let's dive deep. I even just think people listening to this podcast, like not necessarily this episode, but all the episodes will just really, process. What do you want to be doing? How do you want to be doing it? All those things. So I love doing that. That's my favorite part of the whole process, is diving deep with people.
Yeah. And, I'll use my wife, Jen, and I, at Wild Oak Films as an example with that. Is I remember in, I don't know, like my third year in, I was like, I want to do more upscale stuff. I want to do stuff that looks, more ballroom type, I want to get into these fancier venues here in Wichita and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I had this logo design that, looking back, was not stellar at all. But for whatever reason, I thought it looked high end, and I thought it looked so nice, and I thought it looked anyway. And I spent, like $1,500, to kind of have this rebrand and stuff. I was going to do the website on Squarespace, just kind of up whatever. And not long after doing that, I shot a wedding that was a little bit more upscale and stuff. And I was like, nope, absolutely not. This is not what I want to do. And then a little while later, we actually did some travel stuff, and we did some stuff that was more kind of the direction that we wanted to go. But this branding and artwork and stuff did not, the two did not vibe together. And so it was a long process of, why did he do that? And I'm saying all of this to come back and say, when it comes to the films that are on your website, when it comes to that sort of stuff, it took me and Jen in our business like 5.5 or 6 years before we really figured out the direction that we wanted to go. Okay, I know, Austin, you said since 2019, you've had so many websites, but here you are, 4 or 5 years in, and you are just now really figuring out the kind of stuff that you want to do. And so the point that I'm trying to make is, if you're in year 2, like, you still might not know exactly. You still might not understand, but posting work that is an accurate representation of this is who I am right now. The next thing that I want to go with that is going to your website and cleaning up stuff that doesn't fit with your current vibe, okay? That doesn't fit with the direction that you want to go. And I know that a lot of people feel bad about this, specifically when it comes to something like Instagram, is removing work that doesn't fit with the direction that you want to go, and you just feel bad. Okay. Our websites, our social media is for us to grow our business. It is not for your clients to go back and watch your film that they were in. Okay, so so what I mean by that is, if there's a film that maybe the couple absolutely loves or whatever, but it's, let's say it's, a big thing for us was, I just didn't like doing Catholic ceremony weddings. And so I quit posting Catholic ceremony weddings on our website. I quit showing them on Instagram. If it was a Catholic ceremony, it was like, okay, here's the first, her coming down the aisle, here's them kissing and leaving, and like that was it. Like those were the only parts of the ceremony that I showed, and my booking numbers for Catholic ceremonies went way down because I quit showing that sort of stuff. I feel like I'm talking and I know what I'm saying, but I might have lost it a little bit.
You're good.
Okay. Coming back to it. Those clients love their films, but I deliver them with a service like VidFlow, okay, so that they can download them and have them forever. So if I remove them from my website, if I decide to unlist it on YouTube, if I decide to archive it on Instagram, they are still able to find their films and still watch their films, because again, those platforms are marketing tools for our business, not a hub for clients to go back and watch their films. Yeah. And I know with us, whenever we started showing the stuff that we wanted to shoot and removing the stuff that we don't want to shoot, like we have a video, and Jen and I talk about this all the time on our Wild Oak Films YouTube page, that, it has 1.5 million views. Trey Kennedy ripped it off. But it's super emotional, but it's a barn venue. And so we get so many of these inquiries from this place. And I'm like, man, that's not what. So we've like gone back and forth. Do we unlist? Like, what do we do with this film? So anyway, I just chatted a lot. Do you have anything that you want to add to this kind of talk, but for like removing stuff?
Yeah. As you're saying this, I'm thinking about Jessica again. I wish she could be here to kind of say this, but
I wish she could be here so I could hear her English accent.
Yeah, that's the best part. But she's a very empathetic person, and so she and I hear this from a lot of filmmakers. But we just want our couples to feel valued and cared for, And so when you're talking about social media or our website being kind of our marketing piece and showcasing what we want to shoot, I have heard a lot of pushback on that, of people being like, yeah, but my clients come first. And so I just want to put it out there that there's other ways to do it. So I think that 100% you should be showing what you want to be shooting. That is how you're going to be booking future people. Now, if you're worried about your clients, here's something that I just did recently. So sometimes we do, not very often, but sometimes we have people reach out like, hey, you haven't posted anything about our day. Was it not a good day? Something like that. Of course, I feel bad about it, but it's not us and it's not our brand. So what I've done is I've actually made like little reels for people to have them post on their own end. So again, for some people, they're going to listen to that and be like, that's a waste of time. And other people are going to be like, I really care about my clients and what they think and all that. So that was something that's worked great for us. Is I literally put together, 6 to 10 clips of their day. It kind of made it a vertical format and said, you have this, do what you want with it. You can put music to it, however, and I can walk them through that process if they need. But that's really helped. I know for like someone like Jessica, who's like, I really just want to treat our clients amazing. And I always think you should. But some people are concerned when they're not being showcased on your website or social media. So that's a way we have found to work around that.
Yeah, that's a really good thought there. Another thing that we do is using VidFlow. We embed their gallery and stuff on our website, so it's couple's name, wedding collection, date, something like that, and then so it lives on our website as well. So it is still online. It's just not a publicly shared, page, so they can still find it if they want to view it online, if they're visiting, family or whatever, and they just want to pull it up. So that's an option. So those are some things, make sure your info's up to date. What kind of work are you showing? Is the messaging in line with where you are? And then go back in and archive stuff, clean up stuff, and make sure that the brand and the feel is very cohesive with where the direction you want to go. We have a few more points that we would like to talk about when it comes to getting ready for engagement season with your website and all that kind of stuff. And we will get to that right after this break.
Nick and I have to tell you about one of our favorite places to upload our wedding films, and that is Love Stories TV. Love Stories TV is one of the best free resources for us wedding filmmakers. The best part is they are bringing the couples to us. All we have to do is upload our films and we are good to go. Upload unlimited wedding films to your completely free business page. Setup is easy and your films can be live in just minutes. Now is the perfect time to start uploading to Love Stories TV. So head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/lovestoriestv to check out all of the details and see how Love Stories TV is giving away $10,000 in cash to wedding filmmakers just like you. That's howtofilmweddings.com/lovestoriestv to start uploading and connecting with the right couples today.
One question that we see wedding filmmakers asking, what is the best site for licensing music? We have one answer, MusicBed. I have been exclusively using MusicBed since 2016, and our films are better because of it. I have been told during consultations that couples love our films because they feel raw, authentic, and that the music wasn't cheesy. MusicBed has a roster of incredibly talented musicians, bands, and composers who pour their hearts into their work, and you can hear the difference. Find the perfect song with MusicBed's intuitive search features like genre, mood, beats per minute, and key, which is probably my favorite of the search parameters. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed to do what I did and take your wedding films to the next level. Use promo code HTFW22 at checkout to receive 1 month free with the purchase of any annual subscription. That's howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. Okay, and we are back from break, and we're talking about things that you should do to your website as engagement season is upon us, and you hopefully are going to be getting inquiries out your ears. Okay. Out your, okay. So the thing that I wanted Austin to kind of chat a little bit about this for a minute, as he's been, doing lots of rebranding and lots of designs for sites for specifically wedding videographers and other wedding vendors and stuff, is how are people standing out? And I remember when Squarespace really became a thing and people were starting to put like video looping headers and stuff, and there weren't very many people that are doing that. And now here we are in 2022, 5-6 years later, and it's like everyone has that and everyone's doing that, right. That sort of stuff. So, and what it used to be something that would make you stand out, now you're kind of blending in. So, Austin, why don't you talk about this idea of are you standing out? Maybe some, if you can think of any like kind of quick, kind of practical, kind of quick things that people can do without having to do like a whole new refresh or a whole new redesign or something like that for their websites.
Yeah. So I think first, and maybe you touched on this, but if you can tell, I wasn't listening to whatever you were saying. But I think the thing is, we need to stand out nowadays. Yeah. There's a lot of videographers out there, whereas you go back 3-4 years, there wasn't. You go back 10 years, there was very few. So now is the time when you really have to showcase that you're different. And again, I said it earlier, but within 2 seconds, people are going to know whether they like you or not. So you're going to have to immediately showcase something that is unique to you and your brand. Header videos are not a terrible thing. It is, sure, what everyone's doing.
I wasn't trying to say that it was.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But, I think the key is, what are you showcasing? Just like we already talked about. On that header video, are you showcasing the type of weddings you want to do? Are you showcasing upbeat, fun stuff, or slow and more romantic stuff? As far as tips, it is so tricky because video is just so hard to manipulate and do different things with on a website. It is so different than like photography or any other aspects of any other company showcasing visuals. Video is so unique because you have to embed it and you have to know some code in order to really be able to tweak things. Now, there's platforms like Showit that make things way easier, but still, to do anything really unique, it is super tricky. One thing, however, that my team and I are doing a lot more of these days, and you see a lot of photographers doing this, but is just using GIFs, like turning your videos. So what we're doing a lot of right now for our clients is taking a 12-second little highlight video and turning it into a GIF so that when someone lands on your website, it immediately starts playing. And we just try to line up the frame rates and everything so it doesn't even look like a GIF. It looks like a video is playing. And when you do that, at least on a platform like Showit, you can manipulate it so much more because it brings it in as an image instead of a video. And so that is kind of like a next level creative thinking for that. But really, it's hard. And so I think at the end of the day, in order to stand out, you need to showcase whatever is unique to you and your brand. Like we talked about, there's so many ways you can do that. It doesn't have to be just one header video. You could have, even photos can sometimes work, and then the video is a little bit further down the page. It really just depends on layout. Every website is so different. The more projects we do, the more we're like, not a single one of these is even similar.
Yeah.
And so it's so tricky to give a blanket, like, these are things you should do. But is there anything that you are thinking of as I'm talking?
Yeah, the thing that as John and I have done lots of, excuse me, as John and I have done website reviews and just looking at people's stuff and their work and that kind of thing. I think the biggest issue that most people run into is there's no personality on the website, or very, very little personality. And, it's, you're not even, you're a solo shooter, you're a solo business, and you say stuff like, we do this. Like, well, it's not a we, it's an I, it's a me, like that kind of thing. There are very limited to no photos of yourself on the website. And, something that John and I fully believe that we preach a lot in like our mastermind and stuff is people want to buy from people, not from faceless whatevers, And so having imagery of yourself, making it personal to you. And, I think I saw this like TikTok video online or whatever. And this guy was like, liking coffee is not a personality trait. Like, everybody likes coffee. We get it. Okay. Everyone likes the fall. Okay. We get it. Like that doesn't make you stand out. That makes you just a person because, everyone likes coffee. So anyway, just the idea to stand out. One of the biggest things that you can do is put your face on your website and talk about yourself, the things that make you tick, the things that your core, what makes you special, what makes you different, that sort of stuff. That will really help you because I think it's a crazy number of people, whenever they're looking for a specific vendor, they go and they look at tons of different websites and stuff. But I think the average per venue is people reach out to 7 different companies per vendor category. Yeah. So that's for planners, video, and photo. That's 21 different companies. How are you going to stand out about that? And putting your face on it, talking about yourself, that is a big deal with that. So did you have something that you wanted to add? I see you kind of over there, like behind the scenes.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, I'm just thinking through doing things differently. Like you were saying, share about you in creative ways. So I think a lot of times it's hard. A lot of us don't like to talk about ourselves, stuff like that. So something that I think is super fun, super different that Jessica and I just did with our new website, and this isn't applicable to everyone, but we did about Austin according to Jessica. And so it is like Austin loves the snooze button. He loves planners. He loves filling out planners for about a week, and then he feels uninspired and he says, forget planners altogether. So things like that, I find it's us. We always like give each other a hard time in the most fun ways. And I just find that to be super unique. It's very real too. It's like, yeah, this is me. I'm not, mine used to say I love coffee. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
So now mine says Austin loves ice cream despite his lactose intolerance. That's Jessica's input. So anyway, I found that to be fun, and I thought, sharing that to everyone here might give people some creative inspiration too.
Yeah. So doing something that's like on our website, it's what Nick loves about Jen and what Jen loves about Nick and stuff. And we've gotten several people in the past that have commented on, hey, I really resonated with this. I like this, or these kind of, very, very similar stuff. So there's some good ideas about standing out. But I think that when it comes to standing out, it's not just the imagery on your website or the videos that you make. It's making it personal and making it about you and how you can stand out and how you can be different. Another thing I want to touch on, we have a couple more points, and then we'll wrap up. I feel like we've been going for a long time. Maybe we haven't. I don't even know. But being cohesive across your social media platforms, I think, is a really big deal. I'm seeing more and more and more that filmmakers and photographers are using Instagram as their website. they have a website as kind of a way for people to contact them or whatever, but maybe it's really old, and so the imagery is outdated, and or the look is different, or you've kind of changed your focus or something, and your Instagram reflects that, but your website doesn't. And so make sure that those things are cohesive. Make sure the coloring is the same. Another thing that I see is we have this website that looks really nice, but then you go over to something like Instagram, and there's lots of black squares, because that's how your video starts out, and you don't update a cover photo. And so now it looks, your Instagram profile looks incomplete and incoherent, not cohesive with the website. That's what I was trying to say. So how I view Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of those things, is those are the curb appeal to my living room, which is my website. And so I want people to drive by and say, ooh, that looks nice. That looks nice. You know what? I want to go in and have some coffee with Nick. And so they go over to our website and they learn a little bit more. So doing a little spruce up, maybe that's archiving stuff. Maybe that's making some new content, something so that it goes across both platforms. Anything you want to add to that?
Yep. No, I think you nailed it. The thought process is always, and like you said, the curb appeal. Where are people finding you? And as they go through the funnel of then contacting you, is everything cohesive? And so for some people, that might still be a business card or a flyer that a venue's handing out on behalf of you. It could be TikTok, Instagram, you name what kind of it could be a service like The Knot or something like that.
Sure.
Whatever that immediate, this is where people see you, and all the way through to, maybe if they find you on something like The Knot, they might then end up on your Instagram, which then hopefully will lead them to your website, and hopefully lead you to contact form. And even all the way down to that contact form, is your contact form, I see a lot of contact forms that are just kind of thrown together and don't look anything like the brand. I think just all of that needs to be so cohesive to give that polished look and feel. And at the end of the day, what people are thinking as they go through that process is, wow, this is professional. Whether they realize it or not, they think this is so well put together. It's a journey that you want to take people on, and it matters every step of the way, because you could lose them at any point.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. The book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller comes to mind, and where you're the guide and you're taking them. Okay, they see this video on Instagram. They go to my profile. What's my profile say? They look at my feed. Then that makes me go to their website. But where are they going on my website? Are they going to a homepage? Are they going to a film? What's the journey? And just kind of thinking through that page. Because right now, I would say a majority of our inquiries are coming from either YouTube or Instagram. And so I know that they see a video somewhere and then they're coming over to my website. So I need to be thinking about ways, okay, when they click on the link on my Instagram, where is it taking them? That sort of stuff. So just being cohesive and kind of thinking about that process. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on really quick is now might be a great time to set up a CRM. And I know some people are like, what? It's so much work to get everything going and to make sure that all my emails are set up but the thing that I think through is one of the biggest problems that I had when I got started was, especially after we did this bridal show, we did this wedding show, and I got a ton of inquiries that just came through my Squarespace site, and I lost track of a lot of them, and a lot of them fell through the cracks because I didn't have a system that was kind of automated that could remind me, hey, follow up with this people, hey, do this, hey, do, that sort of stuff. And so now could be a great time to set up a CRM. John and I both use Honeybook. Dubsado is another one, Studio Ninja. There's lots of them out there, and they all do very, very similar things. But if you have a place whenever people inquire that goes somewhere other than just your email inbox, and then you have some processes set up so that you can follow up with them, so you continue that conversation, it's just going to be better for you in the long run. So, I don't necessarily want to do a deep dive on the bonuses of doing a CRM or something like that, but I think it could be nice to have that sort of thing in your back pocket as you are moving forward to help you in the long run. So anything you want to add to that?
That's good. I mean, CRMs can be 3 episodes all on their own there.
Sure.
I think the one thing I always tell people who are asking me about what CRM to choose, find out what is going to be best for your client. And so, like, obviously CRMs are to help you as a business, but a lot of them I find are just not user-friendly for the client. And then that goes back to everything we've just talked about today in what is their experience as they make their way through their brand and they are in touch with you, things like that. So I would just really make sure that as you set that up, that you continue on that journey of everything we've talked about, of making sure that by the time they've even booked you at this point, probably, that your CRM is matching up just professionally. Sometimes branding on those is tough to get just right and to make it match yours, but still give it that high-end feel, or at least give it that personalized feel to your brand, and make sure that, their experience is good.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Love that. And another, you're like, oh, I want a CRM, but I don't. Do a free trial of HoneyBook. Do a free trial of Dubsado. Do a free trial of Tave. Is that still one? In any of those, and then like inquire with yourself to see, just to see what those emails kick back and what it all looks like. And I think that I was using HoneyBook for 1.5 years before I ever did that, just to kind of see what that would look like from a consumer end. So anyway, hopefully some of these things will help you as we move into engagement season, as people start reaching out to you. Austin, if people want to connect with you and maybe ask you some questions on branding or whatever, where's a good place for them to do that?
Yeah, so we have an Instagram. It is at We Are The Creative Studio, if you are looking for branding and website work. We also have a website, wearethecreative.studio. So those should be easy. You should be able to find us. If you're just looking, we referenced our wedding website. If you're looking at that, then you are looking for thecreative.wedding. And there is where you'll find kind of our photo and video website. So that's us.
That's awesome. Well, Austin, thank you for coming on and talking with me today about website and just some design stuff people should be thinking about. Real quick, I want to do a plug for our email templates in our store at howtofilmweddings.com/store. You can head over there. We have 60 something plus email templates that will help you from everything from inquiry to 1-year anniversary. We have thought of so many things. They're new and updated. Our old pack had like 40. This one has 60, so they're new and updated, and they can help you through that entire process. That's at howtofilmweddings.com/store. Austin, again, thank you for hanging out with me. Listeners, thank you for tuning in this week, and until next time, we will see ya. Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films? Look no further. Our friends over at VidFlow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. VidFlow is pay per use with no large upfront costs or commitment, and you can cancel at any time. VidFlow offers a premium viewing experience for all of your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years of hosting and an experience for your couples that will blow them away. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/vidflow, where you can save 20% off a yearly business membership by using promo code HTFW20. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way. Give your couples something to rave about by using VidFlow.